Hey, what's up? Welcome to DGen Ed. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts, like the chart behind me, which is of SoFi Technologies, ticker symbol SOFI. And here I am recording this on Saturday, May 4th. May the 4th be with you. And here on the chart, SoFi did close on the 3rd at a price of $6.96, being down almost 0.5% on the day. But what stands out to me is that it did close below $7 a share and $6.97. I do think that will be a key level to be paying attention to moving forward. And the reason for that is because during the last video that I put out before the earnings call, I did point out this head and shoulders pattern, suggesting that following earnings, price could be coming down to $7 a share to test the neckline and potentially go even lower. And so I will go over that in just a second, but I did want to go over, what we have seen in the chart following earnings and some levels that we need to be holding if the price is to go higher. But, unfortunately, and I'm sure this is not a popular opinion, but I do expect price to go lower. But that it really is going to depend on how the price behaves around the neckline, so this purple line. And so I have drawn that at $6.97 based on the lows from April 2nd and April 16th, both days hitting a low of $6.97. So those do mark the armpits of this head and shoulders pattern, with the left shoulder beginning over here on March 20th and then ending on April 29th, coming down to get nearly to that neckline with a low on the day of $7 a share, but then breaking lower. And so, I do think this is really important what we're looking at here with the candles, with the closes, because we did get a close below $6.97, below that neckline, closing on April 30th at a price of $6.78. And then the following day, however, we did get a bullish engulfing candle. So I do think that is good. We did see some upside following that day's close. However, as I pointed out, on Friday, May 3rd, we did again close below that level. But one thing that really does stand out to me as being a very key level for us to not be closing below is $6.61, which was the low on the 30th. And so my understanding of confirmation is that we did get one close below that level and a second close below that level. However, because we did not close below the low that was hit on the 30th, there is no confirmation of this break. So it is still possible that we could reclaim $6.97 and then head back up to the $7 or $8 ranges. But right now it's still, looking pretty precarious, especially, on the first, getting this wick above that level, but not being able to close above it. However, on Thursday, the 2nd, we were able to close 2 cents above it. But again, no confirmation, whether that's to the upside or the downside. A confirming close would be, we would actually first need to get one close above $6.97. And so I guess actually we did get that on the 2nd. But now we need to see a close above that day's high. So that would be at $7 or higher. And so we need to start seeing that if the stock price is to go higher. But I do think that we will be seeing some downside, and there are a few levels that all kind of converge right around $6 a share. And so I just want to highlight how I get to those levels. And so one way, I did go over this in last week's video, but I'm just going to do it here now. So just going from the high here, the top of the head at $7.94, going to take a measurement down to the neckline, to the penny, and I'm just going to take this and move this over to here so we can get an exact measurement to where price might be going if this measured move is to play out. Another thing that we can do is take a Fibonacci retracement from the low over here from March 19th going up to the high of $7.94. And so I'm just going to take that, try to get this lined up just exactly at those levels. And from that, I am going to look at the 1618 extension from that retracement, because I do think that might shed some light onto where price will be going. But before I do look to the downside, I did want to point out that there is this gap still up here at a price of $8.58. So maybe I am wrong. Maybe price doesn't go lower. Maybe we are to reclaim the neckline and start to move higher. And if that is the case, I do think $8.58, that gap does need to be filled. So there is a lot of potential there. But if we do look at the volume profile, we do have a lot of consolidation here when this head and shoulders pattern was formed. So I think it's going to be pretty tough to be getting above the $7 range, getting up to $8 a share. But if price can get up to $8 marked right here by this 50% retracement, going back to the high hit on February 28th, I do think $8 would be a key level to be closing above to reclaim this consolidation moving forward as support. But anyways, moving on to the downside, that measured move and this extension, I'm just going to adjust the axis here, and we can see that the 1618 extension is at a price of $6.14, and the measured move would bring price to exactly $6 a share. So I do find that pretty remarkable. And then I also do have this blue line marked at $6.05. And so that does correspond with this gap that was formed between May 30th and 31st. And so the high on the 30th was $6.05, but actually the close was $6.03. So that would be a more proper gap fill. So I do think price could be heading down there, and there is another gap further to the downside at $5.48. I could see price going down there as well. However, there is this yellow uptrend that is based on these two touch points over here, and I could see that acting as support if price does break down to $6 a share. I think we might actually see a bounce before going down to $5.48, so there could be a nice swing opportunity if price does go down to that level. But as far as right now, I do think we might be seeing a good amount of consolidation over the next weeks, months, before we either see a break to the upside or downside. I did point out an inverse head and shoulder pattern previously with Aquestive Therapeutics, and it took 2 months of hanging out around the neckline before we got a breakout on that one to the upside. And so with SoFi, it might be a couple months around this neckline. So, I plan on being patient, waiting for $6.05, but we'll see. Maybe that never happens. Maybe those gaps don't get filled and we start to see price action going up to $8.58. But, those are just my thoughts. If you found them helpful, make sure you like the video, share your thoughts in the comments down below, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks a lot for watching.